Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Toon Review for tonight's transfer show. Welcome to everybody. You're with me, Paul, and joined tonight by Alex and Sam for this transfer show / latest news. Of course, a few players to go through again tonight, which the Pugs agree with, obviously. Very excited about that of the Pugs, as usual. They're excited about everything. Lots of stories kicking about as well. Sam's on mute, but we just... You what?
It was on mute and it's, my audio. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Don't worry. Don't you worry. Anyway, if you do enjoy tonight's show, as usual, give it the thumbs up for us. And if you're new to the channel and like what you see, why not come and subscribe? We are well on the way now to 31,000 subscribers. So thank you and welcome to everybody. But don't forget to hit the notification bell, which will tell you when we upload any videos or we schedule in the lives. Of course, you can become a member, as usual, by hitting that join button if you want to support the channel that way. I'm going to give a couple of prizes away tomorrow night, I think, to our members. So if you want to join, it's just underneath us. And, of course, you can donate to the channel if you do so wish via Super Chat, which is that $sign at the bottom of the live comments. That will guarantee your comment to be read out on the show. Now, we will start with a little story that has broken today regarding Kevin De Bruyne at Manchester City, which has sort of pricked the ears up of all Newcastle United fans. I'd just like to start by saying that Bruno's release clause is not just for European teams, guys. It's for everybody. Okay, so that means Premier League teams, European, worldwide. It is for everybody. Now, Kevin De Bruyne now has been heavily linked with a move to Saudi Arabia this coming summer, which seems, Alex, to have really started the wheel spinning on reports. Ben Jacobs has reported earlier today that this may interest Manchester City in activating the release clause for Bruno.
Yeah, it's a little bit concerning because if he goes, they're going to need... You would imagine they would sign somebody big because they tend to pull the trigger on big transfers once a year, most years, with your Grealish or a big centre-half. Yeah, that has me a bit more worried. I'm not going to lie. PSG, if it was PSG, it's PSG. Who cares? It would be out of this league. It'd still hurt, but you would be concerning. Kevin De Bruyne is 32 years old now. He's still on, obviously, a fantastic wage and has got a lot to offer still in this country and at Man City. But if they offer him something ludicrous and he gets his head turned and maybe he wants to... It depends. It really does depend because I still think he's at the age where he can still win a lot in Europe. Depends on how he feels with his body. He's had quite a lot of injuries in the last couple of years. So I think the ball's very much in his court.
Yeah, Anthony says there, De Bruyne isn't going to Saudi, lol. If he did leave, he'd go to a European giant.
Not necessarily.
He's cracking on a bit now, Kevin De Bruyne, and, the money that Saudi could offer for De Bruyne, don't dismiss that, Anthony, please, because it's rather silly if you do, because look at the players that managed to tempt over there, and the transfer fee they could get for him could literally help towards Bruno's
not even about that.
Clause.
I think for somebody like that, it's more about him. I think he gets that choice. I think Man City would help him and give him that choice as well. But it's more about, does he think his body can do it at the top level for another 3 years? It completely depends on Kevin De Bruyne's opinion, which I don't know, and you don't know either. So
Niall says there regarding Bernardo Silva is also rumored to be leaving. So they are going to get some money and they are going to be able to spend. So I guess we'll just have to see. We will just have to see. Billy's not with us tonight, guys. Billy's got some stuff on at home that he's dealing with. So he's busy tonight, so can't jump on, but he will be back with us tomorrow night. So he hasn't slept in or anything, don't worry. Aaron says, we want to be challenging City, not selling them our best players. Well, when it comes to a release clause, I guess we don't have the choice. But it's still down to Bruno, though, Sam, isn't it? Even if the release clause is met by whatever team that may be, they have to then convince Bruno. You're still on mute, Sam.
No, we've lost you.
Yeah, we've got no audio coming through, Sam.
Go in your settings and have a look at what your audio is connected to.
Welcome to, I take that as just going to be back in a second.
Yeah,
to associated party transfers. This is interesting, this one, Alex, as this court case starts next Monday. And I think Newcastle United will be keeping a very, very keen eye on this to see what happens with it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of rumours floating around that this is the reason we've been quiet. And there's a lot of takes from is it Nixon? Is it that guy who does a lot of stuff on social media and podcasts has kind of pew-pewed it a little bit? There's a lot of people kind of pouring cold water on it, but to be completely honest, I don't care. You know, we support a club that's been shafted in the opposite regard to this kind of thing. You know, Mike Ashley paid us next to nothing for 2 years worth of sponsorship for Sports Direct, and we promoted it globally. It was plastered all over the stadium, everywhere. So the fact that we got bugger all for it for several years is, you know, it seems to be a problem when it goes too far, but then it's not a problem if you get screwed, you know, in the sort of the poorer end of it, which is just nonsense. So yeah, I think we were waiting. It looks like we were potentially waiting for this. You know, they're not stupid, and they were waiting to potentially get some better sponsors in as well, for sort of training ground and stadium and different bits that we can do. It is curious. It is definitely interesting because they can't keep doing it forever. Again, it's and for probably what is the 16th show in a row, I'll mention arbitrary line in the sand. You know, Manchester United are allowed to operate in £700-800 million of debt because that's not the metric by which you're breaking financial rules. The metric is spending over a 3-year period based on your income, but you're allowed to be in enormous amounts of debt. That's fine. They just pick and choose where the goalposts are based on seemingly Liverpool, Manchester United, and a few other clubs as well, which is not really, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Sam, we just talked about this court case that Man City are going to open up on Monday regarding why we think that maybe Newcastle United are just holding back to see what might happen with this court case.
Yeah, and I think it's probably a smart idea to do so, to sort of let's see where the chips fall in regards to that. It just seems like there's a great deal of noise happening around it at the minute, and will it disturb our transfer plans? You know, is it going to affect things for us financially as well? So it is one that I'll be probably keeping a close eye on. I do have my concerns about it, but you know, that Bruno potentially having his head turned as well. There's so many things that we need to be on tenterhooks for at the minute.
I have a big one, Paul, by the way, a really big one with this.
Really?
It's in the same ballpark, is the Casemiro rumours. I tweeted about this. I am furious about this.
The amount that Manchester United could get for him.
Yeah,
absolutely.
A lot of people shot me down saying it was just loose transfer links. So
No, it's not.
the original rumours were, yes, loose transfer links. So there was 90 to 100 million euros was what was quoted. But now Sky Sports have also commented on it, and they've posted 85 million. So my big problem with this is the whole fair market value, so that the system isn't abused. So as soon as there were murmurs of us potentially loaning in Neves from Saudi, oh no, emergency meeting, quick. Newcastle are being ridiculous. It's not fair. Big emergency meeting had to be had, and they had to put in some emergency rules and legislation to stop that. All of a sudden, you've got somebody who's 32 years old, who's visibly, you can visibly see the fact that he's gone. He's physically declined this season. That there is nobody would even debate that. Man United fans have been mentioning that all season, that he's dropped off physically. He's worth £20 million on Transfermarkt, which is not, you know, they're not the gold standard, but it's a reasonable metric. So for them to be getting between 85 and 100 as a rumour, that would be more than 4 times.
When have you ever seen a 32-year-old go for that amount of money?
For somebody nearly out of contract,
Ridiculous.
who's 32 years old and who's at the end of his career,
Absolutely.
that would be that would not be fair market value, and that would constitute cheating as far as I'm concerned. Because if we can sell Maxi for only 25, and let's not forget, they did actually raise eyebrows at that fee, which is madness. That has got a massive bee in my bonnet for that. I'm so angry.
I've also seen rumours kicking around that they're after Bruno Fernandes for 130 million, Alex. So
yeah, but that's less. You know, when Coutinho went for 140,
yeah, but
I'm not as bothered about that one. That one you can justify because of what
maybe.
teams like
I don't think he's
Barcelona
worth
have done.
that though.
No, I agree.
But Alex, I'm 100% behind you on the Casemiro one. I think it stinks. It absolutely
the Fernandes
stinks.
one you can kind of justify. I don't like it, but they can justify that. The Casemiro one is just outright just wrong and ridiculous.
Yeah.
What would trigger the investigation though? Because obviously we had it for Maxi and they deemed it was fair market value. In my opinion, I think we were probably shortchanged a little bit for Maxi. But what actually triggers that investigation? Do we know? What is the barometer for this to actually be investigated for fair market value?
If it's the Premier League or I'm not.
I mean, we've got to put a complaint in somewhere along the line, you would think.
Is
but
there
anyway,
maybe like a nice easy web link we can just all go on to and report our concern? Does that ever really happen?
Absolutely. Rufia Benisian said about Kevin De Bruyne, and this is where I've seen this as well. In his Belgium interview, was saying he was looking at it in terms of how long he has left family and finance. So if Saudi come knocking, come on. Let's not just think he would go to Europe, because that's just not the case. We have a super chat from Nick Thornton. Thank you, Nick. Can we all take a second to laugh at Mike Ashley for our JD Sports deal? Absolutely. Yes. It's a very good deal. I don't think we've heard the end of it from Mike Ashley's point of view, however, but that's just, we'll see what happens with it. Luke, thank you for a super chat. He says, losing Bruno would be gut-wrenching, but we'd reinvest heavily and have the ability to upgrade in those 5 positions you mentioned earlier today, Paul. Yeah, I mean, look, if we do get 100 million for Bruno, as much as it will hurt, then we have to then look at the positives of how we're going to spend that money. So, yeah. By the way, I've just seen a super chat come in from George. I'll read this out first. A belated donation for Newcastle goals that I've missed. Cheers. Thank you so much, George. George messaged me earlier on this afternoon. Sadly, George's wife passed away last night. George and her sister were by her bedside, and she was obviously with family when she passed. I know she did have illnesses. I think she had Parkinson's as well. George will correct me if I'm wrong with that, but it's such a sad news, because George is a wonderful, wonderful man. He sits in front of me at the football. I've known him for several years now, since I've had my season ticket, and there isn't a nicer bloke you'd like to meet in the world than George. And I'm proud to call him a friend. And I was absolutely devastated. Me and Susan were devastated when we heard when George texted me this afternoon. So I'm really, really sorry to hear it, George, again. I've already texted you back. And as I say, if you need anything at all from me, you know where I am, mate. And phone call, text message, whatever it is, just get in touch. And I'll do whatever I can. So huge condolences to George and the family. And yeah, it's very, very sad news. But George, we're all with you. Just stay strong, my man, as strong as you can be. Really sad news. Newcastle NFFC have said, we all have to sell our best players before June the 30th, but we can't sign anyone. So as a Forest fan, we have to wait and sign players for top money. It's ridiculous. Well, look, Forest are in the position where, you know, they can't do right for doing wrong. Punished again by the Premier League. It's an absolute load of crap, if you ask me. Nottingham Forest wanted to obviously stay in the Premier League. That was their main goal, and to do that, they had to spend. It's
well, what he said doesn't apply to us necessarily. Like we can clean house by bringing in some sponsorship opportunities before June the 30th, and we can also sell some dregs. It's not. We don't have to sell all of our players or the best players. That doesn't apply to us specifically. The media might have you thinking otherwise. The Athletic article from today backs me up on that. We don't have to be, and this is Chris Woff's article, we don't have to sell big hitters. We can sell a few of the smaller ones. We've got some new money coming in with Adidas and different sponsorship opportunities. So in Forest's case, yeah, I don't know that quite as detailed as you probably do as a Forest fan, but I would imagine you've probably got to sell considerably more.
Yeah. Newcastle United Clip says, you're missing the point. Fair market value only applies if it's the same owners. Casemiro can be sold for whatever they want because Ineos and Glazers don't own Saudi clubs. Yeah, but come on. Casemiro for between 85 and 100 million. Are you kidding me? You don't look at that and think there's something fishy going on. Howie, come on.
You can't have fair market value in one situation but not others. Again, lines in sand. It's ridiculous.
That is Casemiro for 85 million to 100 is nowhere near fair market value. Absolutely not.
Well, you've got Savio to Man City. That wasn't a big fee.
No,
that's from Girona. That's from a club that they own as well. So,
yeah, absolutely. Lots of condolences coming in for George, as we expected. NUFC is in a good place financially, says Albert. Well, of course we are. We're in a very good place financially. We just can't spend it. There's a big difference. Simon says Forest screwed themselves by having a squad of loanees in the Championship or out of contract players. So when promoted, had about 8 players left.
And they did go a bit overboard. They went pretty trigger happy in that first season back. They didn't have to go quite that far.
Well, maybe, yeah, they didn't have to, but maybe they felt that they did because the pressure to stay in the Premier League is huge. The financial rewards for staying in the Premier League are huge. So it's catch-22, really. Jake says, devil's advocate, if Bruno chose to leave, who would you like to see brought in? I think it'd have to be ambitious like Xavi Simons. Well, interesting. But let's have a look at our first player tonight. And it is... Sam, would you like to pronounce his name? Because I can't. Assan Ouedraogo. Is it Ouedraogo? As in...
I don't know.
Oh, sod it. Keith Dykes, thank you for being a member for 27 months. Incredible, that, Keith. Thank you very much. Maybe one of these European giants will have a buy one, get one sale we can get in on. You never know. You never know. Go on, Alex.
So I'm just going to call him Thorzan because that's apparently his first name. If you look a bit closer, if you squint.
I think we should go with that. I agree, yes. I'm not sure where he was born. Mulheim an der Ruhr in Germany. I think I've pronounced that very well.
It'll do, definitely.
Really nicely.
Yes.
So we've been linked with him by Sky Germany, funnily enough. He was linked with Bayern, and then they've linked him to us as well. 18-year-old midfielder, and quite an interesting pick, to be fair. He ticks a lot of boxes for what we kind of look for in I would say an 8. He's down as a defensive midfielder, but he's very much a, go do things, go take that ball, and you go, boy. That's tends to be what he does. He's not sort of what Bruno does. Yeah. But he's physical for his age. Again, he's only 18 years old. He's played a reasonable amount of minutes for Schalke this year. He's capped U17s for Germany and plays quite a lot for them. And looks like he's ready to sort of rough and tumble with the senior pros. Fair enough, it is in the second Bundesliga because, Schalke are not in the best of places at the moment. But for senior football, you can see that he's got the right abilities, whether it's physicality, technical ability. But the 6'3" thing is very interesting considering he's so young. He did get 3 goals, 1 assist this year as well.
Yeah. Stephen Missy, welcome to Members Club. Thank you very much for signing up. Thank you very much. Welcome to the family. Sorry, Alex.
So he recently, for them, he's played, they play with wing backs, and he's played as sort of the left-sided midfielder, but he does tend to go on quite a fair few more runs. He's very much a ball carrier, as these statistics kind of prove. Progressive carries at 2.29 and successful take-ons is even higher than that, which implies he doesn't have to get past you because he's on a storming run. He might just get past you because you're pressing him, or he's got quite quick feet. Again, quick feet for a big guy. He definitely has, and he is quite quick for a big guy. He's quite happy to sort of shimmy, drop of the shoulder, quick little move it from the left to the right foot and go around you. He's got a little bit of skill I say a little bit. He's got quite a lot of skill about him, to be fair. A few ball rolls and stuff. So he's quite good he's quite press resistant, to be fair to him. Well, when I say press resistant, he's good at ball retention. He can keep the ball. He doesn't tend to lose it. He doesn't do enormous amounts of passing. 21 passes per game is a frighteningly low number to be passing the ball. That's really low. However, it doesn't seem to be his job. His job seems to be doing slightly different things. The aerial wins output is really good. I did read a really interesting article today, and I can't remember for the life of me who it was from. I think it was Tom, what's his name? Tom Warville, is it? I think he's done some stuff for Tifo and The Athletic. He retweeted this today. It was about the differences in aerial duels, how we do need to look at aerial win rate a bit differently because, does it mean, being good at defensive headers is very different to can you head the ball in an attacking set piece? So just a standard winning the ball in the air metric doesn't always show you the entire picture. We see that Isak can be quite good at heading the ball defensively, but he's naff at it when he tries to do it offensively. It just depends on the situation. But yeah, this guy spikes in all the right areas. He receives the ball high up. They tend to pass to him high up as well. He's good at carrying the ball forward. So shot volume, just over 2 per game. Shot creating actions is quite high at close to 4 as well, which is fantastic. I would ignore the percentiles to a point again, because this is the second Bundesliga. So the green doesn't mean as much. It's probably better to look at the numbers, but you can see where he's spiking and where he's good at. And if we scroll down, we're probably not going to know too many people from here. You've got Jack Rodoni from Huddersfield. If anybody watches Burgos or Tijuana in the Mexican League, probably not. So it doesn't give us a great
not
point
sure, Alex, that we'd get a lot of people.
It's my favourite. What you're talking about?
Oh well, there you go.
So it might make more sense if we have a look at his Sofa score. So again, it's got him down as a DM, but I'd probably move away from that mentally of thinking about him like that. Shirt number 43 as well. He's lovely. So he's a youth player. So recently, let's have a look at a good game, shall we? Let's go on to the lineup. I mean, he dropped an 8.1 in this game, and he didn't start it as far as I'm aware. Right, so they started off. Let me zoom in so everybody can see this a bit better. So they started off in a 4-3-3. I'm going to call this a 4-3-3. It basically is. And he replaced Karaman, who was their sort of most offensive midfielder. So let's go find him. There he is. Let's pull up his data. So these were his statistics for this game. So he played the second half. He got his goal, very tidy with the passes. So as you can see, 22 completed passes, which holds true with what his statistics were telling us, that he averages about 21. So that's kind of bang on, but he was very careful with them, which is nice. Looks like he's developing. 3 accurate long balls is really solid as well. And he had 5 shots in this game, so he was being quite offensive. Hit the woodwork, 2 completed dribbles, 4 out of 5 ground duels is really solid. Again, he does seem quite physical for his age. And he was fouled 2 times and won 2 free kicks for his team. So I'm not quite sure exactly how that played out. I believe he kind of slotted in a similar position. When he starts, did he start this game? Yes, he did. So he started on the right side of a 4-3-3. I've also seen him start on the left side of a 4-3-3. And regardless of where he seems to start, he does tend to do sort of a lot of the... Think of it as a Joe Willock light with not as much passing ability. He seems to do the running bit on the ball that Joe Willock seems to do for us. He's got a lot of that about him, except he's 6'3". He seems a lot better in the air. And obviously he is, 6 years younger than Joe Willock. So there's a lot more potential here and a big high ceiling. So this guy could maybe we can improve the passing. There's a lot of room for growth with this guy. Here's transfer marked. Here he is.
Alex, I'll just jump in 2 seconds because we've got Rachel back in the chat. Of course, one of our mods. She sent in a super chat as well. Thanks, Paul and the TTR family, for all your kind words during this heartbreaking time. My family and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Rachel. And nice to see you in the chat. And, again, just massive condolences. And I hope time is starting to heal a little bit, but obviously it is still quite recent. But we're all with you, as you know, Rich, and we will be whenever you need us. So thank you for that. We've also got Maud, who sent in 25 Saudi Arabian Riyal. Thank you very much, Maud. There's no comment there, but thank you very much for that. Back to you, Alex.
I've just spotted a Foxy comment as well, who's also said he reminds him of Joe Willock. Yeah, I thought exactly the same when I started watching this guy. So so 17 caps. This is all going to be at sort of youth level with a goal. Currently capped for the U17s in Germany. So let's scroll down. So dual citizenship with Germany and Burkina Faso. I would imagine if he keeps developing, he can probably get capped by Germany, but it does highly depend on his development. He needs to keep going. Foxy mentioned there that maybe sort of a move to the Bundesliga like Frankfurt. Yeah, I think he's good enough to play in the Bundesliga next season for sure. I think if we did recruit him, I don't think this is one for first team immediately, purely based on how many midfielders we've got. As long as they don't all break next season and get banned for throwing dice, like we should be fine. So I think this would be a purchase. Again, this reminds me of a Yankuba Minte kind of signing. Buy him, loan him out to the Bundesliga for a year.
Yeah,
that's possibly what, it seems quite logical. Or this is nonsense and Sky Germany don't know what they're talking about. Hopefully this is true, but we'll see. He's contracted until 2027. Evaluation of around 8 million. MR Sports Management, I've had a quick look at them. Not really anything useful there. A small agency owned by Michael Runau, whoever that is, with one agent. They're quite small. And yeah, I really like him. He looks like a good player. Think of him as a slightly taller baby Joe Willock who does lots of ball carrying. He's got loads of potential, only 18 years old. Played a lot in the Bundesliga too for Schalke this year. I would sign him. It depends on how far we've got money-wise this year, but this would be a tidy little pickup if you can get him.
Yeah, I suppose the main question again with this, Sam, is given his position, he's a midfielder. Do we need anybody else in that position unless a couple of them are going out the door, or is he basically another one that would maybe start in the youth setup?
Yeah, and I think for me, it's probably a congested position that we have at the moment. It's probably wouldn't be my first pick for us to backfill. However, decent sum of money. Looks like he's absolutely brimming with potential as well. I do like the sort of profile that we've seen so far. The contract till 2027, what would that entail? Would there be some sort of small release clause that we would need to pay? But development opportunities under Eddie Howe, or at least running out for a season, then getting back under Eddie. That's probably what I would like to see. I've got to be really honest. I don't have full confidence in our youth setup at the moment. So I would probably say loaning him out to a club, get him some first team minutes, and then, see where he develops and see where he goes. But if the price is right, then we should be moving towards a model that we can probably get, players from different leagues in and seeing how they develop, loaning them out, and then progressing and kicking them on.
Yeah. Foxy says we would have to get a deal done quickly. His release clause expires June 15. German clubs can sign him for less than 9 million. Teams outside of Germany will have to pay around 12. I think that's a realistic. I think that's a decent price for him, though, Alex, to be honest. But like Sam says, do we want him coming into a youth setup that's still all over the place at the minute?
It's like I said, it's like a Minte signing. Minte we paid 8 million for. We could have put that towards more first team signings, but I get what we're doing. It's kind of like, think of it as like 3 tiers of purchasing, maybe even 4 tiers if you think about it. So you've got your first teamers who are big signings that are going to come in, like Tonali, Isak, those kind of caliber, and then you've got tier 2, which is like your Gordon, and that's what he was at the time. He wasn't going to come in, and we didn't know he was going to do this. He was kind of a tier 2 purchase. And you like a Harvey Barnes, and then you've got your tier 3, which is like a Yankuba Minte and a development player. So they're not just going to go and sit in the academy, but they're not quite good enough to be in the squad yet. They're going to go, and then you've got your purchases for the academy, like we did with, like maybe Alex Murphy. So you've got kind of like 4 levels of recruitment in that regard. And this would be like a 3rd level of recruitment. You would purchase him, but then you'd send him straight out because he is probably good enough to get first team minutes in a top 5 league. Definitely sort of the Bundesliga or the Eredivisie, somewhere like that. Probably keep him in Germany. It'd probably be better for his sort of cultural. Just keep him in the same country for his language skills and let him concentrate on his football.
There's a lot of comments coming in as well, Sam, that find another player as good as this kid for 15 million quid. An English player, you wouldn't, because it'd be sort of twice the price.
Absolutely, and we need to probably have a broader horizon when it comes to finding these gems, and I hope that's what we hope to get from, you know, a new director of football who's not just looking at, you know, the English leagues, but actually who can focus abroad as well, so we can actually find these players who we can get at, you know, cheaper prices. I do appreciate the argument, well, you know, that's maybe 12 million that we can spend on players that we can have for the first team, but this isn't a, you know, a next season project, and that alone, this is an ongoing project, and we want to sort of have the depth for the future as well, and get players in nice and early who we can develop in our style. And if they don't live up to the mark, then try and increase the value and sell them on. It's part of the model that we probably should be pushing towards more so, in my opinion.
There is one kind of issue with this, is not being able to secure Tosin on a free. I think reduces the amount of wiggle room we've got in this type of recruitment. I think maybe we would have put a little bit more into this kind of signing if we could have got 2 people in on a free. I think this has kind of hurt that a little bit. So,
we'll by the way, the Forest fan there, I'm not sure what your name is, but thank you very much for tuning in as well. We welcome all fans of every club into this channel, as long as it's sensible conversation. We don't mind at all. The Forest bought Hudson-Odoi, of course, 3 million. So there is gems out there. I saw something on. I think it's a Newcastle United Twitter site that deals with Newcastle United flights or something like that. It's called, and they have a flight arriving tomorrow from around the,
they do,
the Midlands,
from Nottingham, isn't it?
With regards, and a picture of Hudson-Odoi. So that would.
I think it was a bit of banter though. They were just
Of course it is. What about Dybala, Sam? £10 million release clause. Would you take a punt?
No.
Okay.
I just think we need to really invest probably a little bit more shrewdly, because it's not just the 10 million, it's the sign-on fees that we need to consider. It's you know all the extras, any sort of, you know, bonuses that we now have to think about, like in-game things and stuff like that. So I think I would have to know more, because we need to be so careful with our money. You know, Alex has just made the great point, and you know, that free with Tosin could have been really fantastic, and again we would have had, you know, bonuses to pay for that as well, but that would have been a really great signing for us. So I think we're going to have less wiggle room for that type of punt. So yeah, not too sure yet.
Alex, what do you reckon about Dybala? I mean, he has said in an interview we'd be open to moving to the Premier League as well.
No.
Okay, let's move on.
Again, it's risky. It's like a Calvert-Lewin kind of signing, isn't it? Very obviously very different players, but it's just risky.
I think he's had his day, Dybala. I think he's on the downward slope of the other side now.
I don't think we play with the right formation or the right style to suit him at all, because he's kind of wants to be a bit more of a, you know, behind the striker.
That's where he plays.
Not do as much pressing. I don't think anything about Dybala's game suits how we want to play. I don't see where he would slot in.
Well, the Forest fans saying Chris Woodinho is what we call him. He's been class. Well, class and Chris Wood in the same sentence. I mean, hey, if he's done a job, he's done a job.
An oak tree for us, and that was it.
Yes. You know what? I watched a clip of that miss against Sheffield Wednesday in the cup the other year. Oh my God! At Hillsborough, when he could have got us level. Oh, I mean, that's haunting that we had a player like him.
Do you remember that goal that Fabian Schär scored from the halfway line when he picked it up and started running, and you guys thought it was Chris Wood, and you went, "Oh, this is amazing from Chris Wood. He's doing fantastic."
It was Brentford.
Chris Wood. That's why.
I remember the game, Alex. It was Brentford away a couple of seasons ago. I know exactly the one you're talking about. Anyway, who's the next player we got tonight?
It is this guy. It's Bruyne.
Bruyne?
You'll see.
Well, Bruyne.
Brajan Gruda. Again, another midfielder. Just the type of. Never mind. Alex, absolutely take it away.
Well, another German youngster with a questionable mustache, but good thing Billy's not here to make comments about German mustaches.
He will be sent to the cooler for 20 years.
So, this is a really.
I noticed how quickly Alex moved on from that.
I got to move on from absolutely. we can't go too far down that rabbit hole. So actual Bundesliga minutes this year, playing for Mainz, not just the second Bundesliga. So he's been playing in the top division. He's got 1,600 minutes with 4 goals and 3 assists. I haven't even told you where he plays yet, which might be helpful for everyone. He is a right winger. So a potential...
Oh, well, there you go. So he's not a midfielder as such. He's a right winger.
Yeah, he's playing out on the right and he's a left footer. So he's very much in that mold of bringing in sort of for Miggy kind of,
Yeah.
But again, he's very young. And the rumours seem to be that we're going to go for a big hitter on the right wing. So I'm skeptical, but then there are other things in this link that makes me not skeptical, which you will see when we scroll down. Which we are going to do now. Let's scroll down and have a look at the data. So again, these percentiles now make a lot more sense because this is against the men's big 5 leagues. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. Should we go put him against Miggy? Let's do that. Let's type
yes, please.
Let's type an armour on and then let's go back to Mr.
Why
Brajan
the hell
Gruda,
not?
because then we can compare the two. Because normally a lot of people get frustrated when I don't compare them, but it's because if they're in the wrong leagues, it's just skewed data and it's not fair. So let's go.
Question, Alex: is he in contract, and if so, till when?
He is.
Oh, you see, you're rushing him now, Sam. He normally comes onto that.
Yeah,
I know.
Don't rush the maestro. Dear me, you'll have your
2026. So 2 years left in his contract.
Okay.
But let's put him against Miguel Almiron. There we go. Let's get rid of that funny advert. So these are their graphics. So blue is Brajan Gruda and red is Miguel Almiron. So red for Miggy. So Miggy's kind of beating him there on a lot of the defensive stuff, a lot of the headless chicken work in the tackles, interceptions, blocks, and clearances, because he is phenomenal at defensive output and off the ball stuff. We know Miggy's great at that. Pass completion rate is very solid for Miggy as well. He is very careful with the ball. Ball is baby for Miggy. He recycles it very well and goes backwards quite a lot, but it does give him a high pass completion rate.
Well, of course it does, because he only passes 2 foot in front of him.
Well, it just goes back to Trippier, doesn't he? But anyway, in terms of where Gruda is kind of beat him out there, successful take-ons is exponentially better because he doesn't turn backwards. He actually takes his man on a lot more than Miggy does, which is refreshing to see. Considerably higher progressive carries, more touches in the attacking penalty area, and he's receiving the ball higher up the pitch with a higher starting position. Also, far more aerial duels won, which is a big prerequisite for an Eddie Howe player, is can you win things in the air and be a big meat chunk person, because he just likes big physical athletic players. That's who he recruits. Higher non-penalty goals, higher shot volume, higher assist rate, higher shot creating actions as well. It isn't the biggest sample size, though. It is only 1,600 minutes, to be fair. Miggy's obviously played in the Champions League, played against much tougher opposition on the whole, which is has to be accounted for. So we're not going to completely, poop all over Miggy. It's not his fault. So in terms of where he's spiking, you can see there the best stuff statistically is his ball progression. His win rate in the air is fantastic positionally for where he plays. Shot creating actions are super high as well. So he's getting other teammate shots 5.65 times per match, which is also fantastic. So spiking in all the right places. And Paul will love this when I scroll down. There you go. This is who he compares to. Coolbot is first on the list and Nico Williams is second. You've got Chukwueze there, who we've played against Milan last season. You've also got Mudryk on this list and Kvaratskhelia. And
we can
Savio,
dream, Sam. We can dream.
I would love Kubo,
I know.
I would take care of him so well.
We would.
So
I'd even drive to Japan to bring him back.
Kind.
Well, we're not looking at him. We're looking at the German version of him. So
we can dream, Alex. We can dream.
Yes. Don't deny our dreams, Alex.
Well, anyway,
back to War, Brian.
SofaScore gives us some interesting insights here. The fact that they are saying he's good at high pressing and playmaking. I mean, that's good. We like high pressing. We like playmaking. We need both of those things in our team. More of those things is fantastic. Another shirt number 43. That's the second one tonight. I was a bit scared I was on the wrong player then, but I'm not. It's just everybody's wearing the number 43 apparently.
That's not a good number for a German to wear, though, is it? Move on.
I'm not sure that's 174 centimeters again, which is what, 5'9", probably bang on. So even more impressed by the aerial win rate, considering he's 5'9", because nowadays, especially in the Premier League, when everybody's playing basically centre halves as fullbacks, that's quite good. The fact he's left-footed as well, we love that because he can play as a proper inverted winger. Which
hang on, Alex, I'm now getting people, that joke. 43 was during the war. I didn't say it ended in 1943. It was during the war. Yeah, end of story. Maud, thank you for your new membership as well. Welcome to Members Club, my friend. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Carry on, Alex.
Paul saying war. That was handy.
Well, it was the Second World War. It ended in
I just
45.
Saw something interesting. So before I did the research for this guy, I didn't realize he was in the Germany squad. That's news to me. So you're learning something with me on the fly. I did his research kind of a few days ago, but yesterday he was actually on the bench for the friendly against the Ukraine, which means he's obviously rated very, very highly, because to get called up, especially when Musiala is in your position, that's quite impressive. Where is he? Where is he? I'm guessing he didn't come on. Muller, Bear, he's great as well for Hoffenheim, by the way. He'll end up coming to the Premier League. Where is he? There he is. Oh, has he got the number 9? You're joking. Surely not. He has the number 9. Why would you give him the number 9? That's madness. What are you doing, Germany?
Well, he's obviously a good player, Alex.
Well, I mean, why would you give somebody the number 9 and then not play them? Anyway, so as you can see, this run-in was fantastic. I mean, you've got 3 goals and an assist in the run-in with an 8.1, a 7.9, an 8.2. He's 20 years old, so this is really impressive. So you can see here the formation of the final game of the season for them. This was on the 18th of last month. So they played in a 3-4-3 or a 3-4-2-1. However, we're looking at this with him out on the right-hand side. So let's have a look at how he actually did in this game. He did get subbed off as well. So he played most of the game. He basically hugged that right touch line. Looks like he potentially swapped sides for a little bit as well, which is great. We love a bit of that. 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 shots, 3 completed dribbles, only 14 passes. But again, he's more of a ball carrier.
Yeah.
2 key passes. He tried a couple of crosses and long balls that didn't come off. 1 big chance created. He won half of his ground duels. A couple of offsides as well. So he looks like he was playing. He must have been playing quite high up to have been offside twice when he's not supposed to be the furthest forward. I'm not sure who Burkhardt is. I haven't watched a lot of Mainz. I haven't watched Mainz play, to be completely honest with you, since we last played against them in a friendly. It's not a team that I've come across very often when I've watched Bundesliga games. So I don't even know if he's a target forward or not. But let's look at another one. We'll look at his 8.1, shall we? So yeah, I got really confused when we were doing research for this guy, because the Mainz kit looks like the Croatia kit, and it was I was confused as to whether he had dual nationality or it got very weird. So same shape again. So he looks like he's playing mostly in the same position. Again, fantastic heat map, exactly where you want him to be. Oh, we've got an advert. Lovely. Let's get rid of that. So 1 goal. He got 0.37 expected assists as well. 2 shots on target, a completed dribble, much tidier passing accuracy as well, with slightly more passes. 2 key passes. He got an accurate cross, a couple of accurate long balls, created 2 big chances, 4 out of 10 duels. It's okay, 50-ish%. He's a young winger. He'll get stronger. Gave away 2 free kicks, but 2 free kicks, and another offside. Again, seems to be playing as the last man a couple of times. Yeah, interesting. Young player. I mean, let's have a look at his transfer market and get an idea. Oh, he's been involved internationally for a very long time. So that's probably why he was involved in the senior setup. They're obviously very aware of who this guy is. So
he is very highly thought of, Alex, definitely.
Well, the fact that he's only 20 years old and he's got this much history is rather impressive.
Yeah.
Foxy just said you don't want to watch Mainz. Dreadful. Yeah, I watch a lot of YouTube. Do free Bundesliga and Bundesliga 2 stuff sometimes, and I watch a lot of it. But I've just never watched Mainz in the last couple of years. He's got loads of family who were professional footballers. That's always a good sign. And he started. Yeah, well, he went to Mainz when he was a lot younger, didn't he? So 20 million is his valuation. They seem to think he can play as a striker or just behind the striker. I think we would probably deploy him on the right wing and then have him as a versatile option. Dual Albanian citizenship, interesting, although he's only represented Germany thus far. Player agent is Robert Schneider. I have no idea who this is, but we're about to find out. Oh, he's got Schlotterbeck. Oh, it's this guy. Okay, I have heard of this guy. And he's got Schlotterbeck's brother, Kevin, as well. Maximilian Bayer, who we were just talking about for Hoffenheim, is also fantastic.
I can't take anybody seriously with the name Maximilian. I just cannot. I cannot take them seriously.
But he's the gladiator.
Oh,
You wouldn't take him seriously.
that was Maximus.
Oh, it was
Not
Maximus.
Maximilian.
It's the same name. It's the same thing.
It's really not, Alex. My name is Maximilian Decimus Meridius. I don't think so.
It's like the full proper version of it. It's like Bart of The Simpsons is Bartholomew or something.
No, it's not.
Bartholomew,
Maximilian is not the same as Maximus. You can't go up to someone and go, oh, yes, my name is Maximus Decimus Meridius. Absolute bollocks, right? It's not the same
Is he
name.
a Bond villain? Have you just made up a Bond villain? A bad one?
It was out of Gladiator, man.
Something. I don't think
Maximus
that's correct.
Decimus Meridius.
Really? Well,
Anyway,
There's a whole bit of
like-
spiel to that, but I'm not going to go into it. Anyway, carry on, Alex.
I like
you.
the German Cole Palmer. He looks good.
Actually,
does
does
look a bit
look
like the
very
German
much like Cole Palmer, yes.
Exactly
yeah.
what we need. I'm not sure we're going to recruit this profile as a right winger though, because all the rumors have been that we're going to go for a big right winger, like a more expensive one who's a bit older, a bit ready to kind of step into that role, and he doesn't kind of fit this. But I think he's fantastic. I'd like this kind of signing because it'd be a lot cheaper
like him.
as well.
What do you reckon, Sam?
Yeah, like him. Can we get him in the budget? I would love to see him. I think that's a lot of potential there. I think that with some development as well, then what could we turn that type of talent into? I think it'd be a really exciting signing. But again, for the right wing, that's somewhere where I do want to spend some money. I'm not going to mention the name again, but that's where we need. I think Alex is right. We need someone who's got a bit more experience, who can hit the ground running. But he looks like he's going to be a top talent to keep an eye on for the future. It would be great if we could strengthen the squad with someone like that for sure.
And a few people have mentioned Dortmund, and I agree with you. This has got Borussia Dortmund written all over it. The fact that Schlotterbeck is also the highest sentences. The fact that the agent represents Schlotterbeck and he's gone to Dortmund as well kind of makes a bit of sense logically. Like I could see him going to Dortmund 100%.
Yeah, Foxy says there, I think Gruda stays in Germany to a bigger club, gives him a better chance to break into the national team.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he wasn't great when they thumped Dortmund, but he was very good against Hoffenheim. Some people have said 70 to 100 million. I mean, listen, just
What,
the
for
price
him?
of play. I don't know whether they're talking about him or not. I have no idea, but I'd be very surprised if they were talking about him.
Kubo, surely.
Yeah, Kubo's right up there. I mean, I'd put a tenner in towards Kubo. Dave Telford says, I thought Russell Crowe joined in the live stream. Your impersonations are amazing, Paul. Please keep doing them. But then finishes with lol. So I don't know whether he's actually complimenting me or not. But I'm taking it as a compliment, Dave. Thank you very much.
Is he laughing at you or with you?
No, he's laughing with me. And there's nothing wrong with my impressions. They are very good. My impersonations are a lot better than what you two can come up with. So anyway, Chipness reckons he could replace Marco Reus at Dortmund. Well, I mean, it's a straightforward replacement, isn't it? I mean, he's a very difficult player to replace, of course. But there you go. Right, final player of the evening, Alex.
Oh, someone's just sent me a video of Mourinho with Salt Bay. Oh, that's disgusting.
With who?
I'm so disappointed in Mourinho.
What is Salt Bay?
Oh, you explain it, Alex, please.
I don't even want to. He's a guy who opened the restaurant who slaps the meat and does.
Oh, not that prick with the glasses, sunglasses.
The guy who invaded the pitch on the World Cup final and took the trophy.
Bollocks to him!
Like,
what is Mourinho doing?
There's a video of Mourinho on the back of a speedboat with Salt Bay, and it's. Please don't send me that again. Whoever did that.
I mean, I've seen loads of Mourinho videos waving the flag, of course, waving the scarf.
I like that. You know, I'm going to follow that team next year. I'm really
See, that's
excited.
that's how I imagined Amanda celebrating our takeover when I was mentioning about the black and white bra above her head, but it never did happen. Anyway, final player of the evening, Alex.
Are
you ready?
Do you like this one?
It's Nico Williams, ladies and gentlemen, a fantastic footballer. Now, this guy would excite me.
I mean, we've seen him live a couple of times, haven't we?
We have, yeah.
Unlikely. I'm just gonna put one word out there. Unlikely.
However, thanks, Alex. I mean, I give him the big build-up and then boom.
By the way,
Rachel says she couldn't tell the difference between me and Russell Crowe. Just thought I'd put that in there, but carry on, Alex.
Oh yes, Rachel. The similarities are striking. Carry on.
What do I want to say about Nico Williams? I mean, yeah, we're just probably not going to get him. We're not going to get him. However, if we go big on a player, which we tend to do, we did it with Toon Army, we did it with Isak. If we decide that this is going to be the guy, then maybe we can get him. It's always quite difficult to get people out of that club, though, because it's quite a unique club. For people that don't know Athletic Club de Bilbao, they only recruit for people who have heritage from the Basque country.
Yes, but Alex, we have a very good relationship with Athletic Club de
Bilbao. We do.
So maybe there's a chance of getting him. Not for them wages, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's expensive. He's really expensive. So he's 21 years old. In a couple of months, he'll be 22. He's a winger. He plays on both sides. He's absolutely fantastic with his right foot, left foot, you name it. It says he's right-footed here. He's a good height as well. He's just shy of 6 foot, still quite physical. And then last season in La Liga, he played just shy of 2,300 minutes with 5 goals and 11 assists, which is quite impressive, considering it was from 5.7 XAG, which means not only did his teammates finish their dinner, they finished everyone else's dinner as well. So people being hyper-clinical in that team, probably his brother, to be fair, knowing him. And if we scroll down, let's have a look at the data. Well, he carries the ball, and then he carries the ball, and then he carries on carrying the ball. That is basically what this guy does. And he runs around you, and you don't stop him very often because he's really good at it. This data is in the big 5 leagues. So we can have a look at the greens and the reds. They are a lot more impactful. Progressive carries is super high. Successful take-ons is super high as well. He takes a lot of touches high up and in the penalty area. His assist total is through the roof, 0.43 per 90. So he's basically getting an assist every second game. 2 is the shot volume. I'd like to see that maybe a little bit higher, but again, it depends on who he's playing for. I'm sure playing for us, he could probably do even more, to be fair. And then do you want to put him against Miggy? Is that fair? Because he's not left-footed. But
Alex, you can't put him against Miggy. There's just no comparison. That's just evil shit right there.
It is cruel, actually.
Oh, Miggy's disappeared. Where's Miggy on this list?
I'm not surprised. He's done a runner.
No, he's not even. Yeah, Miggy ran away. He doesn't want to be compared. Miggy has officially run away. And there you go. This is the comparison list. So we've obviously just seen this because Gruda is on the list, the same list that Nico Williams is on. So you've got a few good shouts in here that we already know of. Anthony Gordon's on this list, to be fair, which is props to Anthony Gordon. Well done. So let's go and have a look at Nico Williams on SofaScore. Here he is with his big smile, rated at 54 mil on SofaScore, which is likely to be even higher than that. Again, high pressing and playmaking as the strengths. Let's scroll down. Oh, that's a lot of green. So he was... Oh, he's playing... Oh, is that today? What's the date today? That's tomorrow. He's playing tomorrow, guys. So maybe check out... Oh, actually, no. Watch our show first. Then at 8:30, when the show finishes, then you can watch the Spain versus Andorra friendly because you might get to see Nico Williams.
We've got a very good show coming up tomorrow, guys. It will be scheduled tomorrow, but it is a show which we're going to get your participation in all the way through. So it's going to be a great show. So make sure you join us at 7 o'clock for that one.
Indeed, you get to vote, but we won't tell you any more than that.
Lots of polls, guys. Lots of polls for you to do. Behave, Sam.
It just sounded ominous, but carry on.
Yes.
So here we go. Here is the team. So this was them against Rayo Vallecano in a 4-2-3-1 goal. I love Basque names. They're hilarious. Inigo Ruiz de Galarreta. They're just madness. It's not even proper Spanish. It's just mental.
Alex, you just sound like somebody that would come up and serve you paella.
I don't speak Basque. They have a different language, like slightly. I don't know. I don't even know what it is. So this was his heat map. A lot of defensive output there. He's got a big blob sort of on the left back position. So he's obviously done quite a lot of defensive work and helped out his teammate. It does look like there was an injury to the left back, so that maybe explains that. Again, I didn't watch this game specifically, but again, very active. Looks like he's had a pop at right wing for a few minutes, maybe 10 or 15 minutes. He's played on the left as well. He got his goal, 47 touches of the ball, less involved in the passing. Got a key pass. Again, he tried 7 dribbles. Only 2 of them came off successfully. Again, that means when you retain the ball once you go past someone. 4 out of 12 ground duels as well. Could be a little bit better than that. But again, he's still just a baby. He's not, he's a couple of years younger than Joe Willock, so he's still really young. Let's maybe try and find a better game for him, shall we? To show you what he can actually do. Oh, he played against Mason. I was going to say Jason Greenwood then. That's not the same person. Mason Greenwood.
Apologies to all the Jason Greenwoods who Alex has just basically shoved in alongside that scumbag. I do apologise.
So Nico Williams again against Getafe. Very different heat map in this game. Obviously a very different game. Mostly left side. Looks like he had 5 or 10 minutes on the right. Involved in a bit of sort of defensive work and maybe springing from the counter-attack. 3 key passes, 2 assists in this game, which is fantastic. They do look like they don't look like they were from long balls or crosses. They're probably from open play passes. 2 completed dribbles, 3 out of 8 ground duels again. So probably we could do with them being a little bit, we need a bit more chunk. If you're going to be an Eddie Howe pressing monster, we possibly need a tiny bit more physicality. But I have no doubt that this guy can do it. His numbers are absolutely fantastic. And you can see all of these greens. And the green implies he's doing really good things like assisting, passing well, dribbling well, tackling well. You don't get these kind of numbers. I mean, there's a bit of a mishmash here. He got a double yellow against Betis and got sent off. But then he came back in the Copa del Rey and was amazing and scored a goal and got an assist against Atletico Madrid. So I am zoomed out a bit far. I do apologise. And there you go, Copa del Rey against Barcelona, a goal and an assist. So it looks like he's very up for cup competitions, which is good for us. Let's have a look at his transfer mark then. So Pamplona in Spain, 13 caps for Spain at the moment with 2 goals. I mean, he's officially a left winger, but he can play both sides, I would imagine.
Is that where they get chased by the Bulls, Pamplona? It is, isn't it?
I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Contracted until 2027. So how many years is that? That's 3 years this summer. So 3 years remaining on his contract. Of course, can play for Ghana, but doesn't. Plays for Spain. I think his brother plays for Ghana and he plays for Spain, even though they're both Spanish. So they've gone in different directions. And yeah, he's probably going to be more money than this. That's all I'm going to say. He's not going to cost this much. I think he's going to cost a bit more than this. Yeah. Especially because of the nature of the club. If it was I was going to say normal Spanish team, that's a bit rude. With Bilbao, with the nature of the club, because of their recruitment, it's very difficult to get players back into the club because they have recruitment criteria. They have to be, imagine if we had this in the Northeast, where to play for Newcastle, you had to either be born in the Northeast or have family from the Northeast, like grandparents. That would suddenly whittle down our squad. We wouldn't be allowed Bruno or anyone like that. So that is basically the conditions that they have to recruit under, if anybody doesn't know how Bilbao operate. So when they sell someone like this, it's very different for them because the recruitment, it's very difficult to get players back in that are going to fill that void. It's very different. Yeah. So they have to be very careful with their recruitment, with their sales. So I don't think it's feasible to get him out of Bilbao. I think he's going to be too much money personally.
Sam, what do you reckon? Because I still love Kubo, by the way. But what do you reckon on Nico?
Yeah, I mean, looks absolutely fantastic, but Alex is absolutely right. They're going to, given their criteria, they're going to want significant compensation to let him go. And it's not as easy for them to just go and say, hey, we've got a massive payday, so let's go spend. So they would probably be better off actually probably keeping him. He looks fantastic. He looks great. Probably the positionally what I'd be interested in. Developmental opportunity as well because of his age. Lots of capability, but again, pricing out of the market for me.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I think it would take an awful lot of money for Nico Williams. Plus, Foxy's wondering if he still has the release clause of around 50 million. I'm not sure he does.
I don't know. I can't find anything about it.
No,
Maybe,
it normally does state if he's got a release clause, but there's nothing there. But Nico Williams, Kubo, those type of players, you know, are we in the right place to get these guys yet? I'm not so sure. You know, we'll have to see on that one. But I think
yes, if it was a Nico Williams who wasn't playing for Bilbao, it might be gettable. Like Toon Army was, So like Toon Army was really tricky to get, you know, but we did it. But this is even trickier than that.
Yep. But there you have it, guys. That is another transfer show done and dusted. Of course, it opens up on the 14th of this month, 10 days' time. The transfer window opens, of course. So it is going to be massively ramped up as time goes on. But the rumours, the links, they will all still continue. But as I say, we do have a great show tomorrow for you to take part in. So please join us for that at 7 o'clock. There will be a news show tomorrow as well. Of course, there's always news to bring you in Newcastle United. So please do give the show a like if you've enjoyed tonight. And of course, do subscribe if you're new and you like what you see. And make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss an upload or a live show. There was something else I was going to say that has completely gone out my head. Oh, yes. This show will be uploaded again to iTunes and Spotify. So if you listen to them, I've started to upload the shows again to that, so you can listen to it in the car, etc., etc. But thank you for all your super chats and new memberships, etc. Mods, thank you. Big cuddles and love to George and Rachel, of course. And thank you to Alex and Sam. And we will see you all again tomorrow. But in the meantime, enjoy the rest of the evening, folks. Good night.
Come back and check out the